Brandles.
Are we invited?
He has not sent us an invite.
Well, I mean,
you know what?
Honestly,
okay.
like the stuff we're doing for Jono, I would expect an invite.
Okay, so Jono is no longer,
if nothing else, just to send a gift.
a winner.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna knock him down, and we're gonna.
But then I might actually show up. All right, well, welcome to the Nicks Boots from Start to Finish podcast. I'm your host, Shyler Mao. I'm joined here by Lucas Grassberger, Kelsey Lursbach, a.k.a. K-Train. We are here to announce the winners of the third phase of the Contender Championship. It was a fast and furious competition. We really appreciate everybody who participated. We got some great content. We got some great stories. And we got some great picks of some of these beautiful boots that are out here. So, Lucas, do you want to highlight the first winner?
Absolutely. Very first one. I don't know how to pronounce this username.
It's Patina, South Dakota, for sure.
Is that a place?
No, but
Okay.
Patina, South Dakota.
You
That's
said it
what
with
I
such
read
confidence, so I thought maybe.
That's what I'm going to go with, and I think
Okay.
that's part of the fun of this.
Okay.
And so maybe I think in future competitions, I don't like it when people just accept the default Reddit suggestion for their username.
It's going to be a rule you can't use
You have
the
to
default.
have some personality in your username.
Okay. You can't use the auto-generated
Something
username.
I'm noodling on.
Can
What
you
if-
change it after the fact?
No, you can't.
So you have to make a new account.
Whole new account.
Whole
to
new
join.
account, or you have to have some foresight and understand.
Some foresight, yep.
Yes.
What if...
Patina, South Dakota. So Patina is a type of tire,
Oh.
I believe. And SD, of course, is the abbreviation for what state, K-Train?
South Dakota.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
What I do have a rules question here. What if you make an account and the auto-generated username just happens to be funny or interesting?
Then it's okay.
Okay.
But better would be if it had some association with your life or
Okay.
your story,
Okay.
you know.
Keep that in
Because I
mind.
enjoy this. I enjoyed, like, this guy was really into racing, so he got Patina tires or something. But he's also from South Dakota. And, you know, he wanted to pay homage to his home state. And that's where the username came from.
Yeah. No, it does definitely create some fun.
It's crazy.
I remember last year we had crab cakes going up against El Pastor.
Crab cakes with a Z.
Yeah.
With a Z. So it was crazy, right? It was wild. Yeah. If you throw a Z on there,
Oh, yeah.
it gets wild.
Anyway,
All right, so let's talk about these boots.
Yes,
and the story
so-
behind them.
the best bet. So this is an interesting story. Basically, this person made a bet with a friend of theirs to kick a habit, nicotine, Zyn in particular. And they said the first one who folds has to buy the other person a pair of boots. And Patina, South Dakota.
Mr. South Dakota.
Mr. South Dakota held strong when his friend did not. So he held him to the bet. And I do appreciate that he didn't just go, okay, buy me some like $100 Timberlands. He was like, okay, $800. I think these are Wicked and Craig.
These are Wicked and Craig.
So $800 to
double stuffed burgundy.
$900
Yeah.
Nicks boots
Yeah.
is what you owe me for going back to the nicotine.
Well, so my takeaway from this was, one, Nicks boots are for winners. Nicks boots are for people with willpower and discipline. And 3, Nicks boots can drive amazing changes in someone's behavior. So, you know, cool to be a part of this story, to get off the juice there, Mr. SD. So glad you've been nicotine free since then, and glad these boots could be a part of getting you there, man.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
absolutely.
These things always crush it when they come up. Basically, they're kind of like a Robert-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
They're like an 8-inch
last dogger
Robert.
heel.
Yeah, 8-inch Robert
Yeah.
with the double stuff.
Yep.
So great combo. They look amazing, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. So JDSW 20. JDSW 20 is a lawyer. He's got his Juris Doctor degree. That's why the JD is there. He's from the southwestern United States. Maybe Arizona, maybe California. So that's what that is about.
Of course.
The 20 is because he was 20 years old when he made his first
Oh,
account.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. It's been on here for quite a while. So JDSW20, thank you for that, those insights into your life. Lucas, you want to talk about this story?
Yeah. So, part of the prompt of this round 3 was tell us why you bought your boots and tell us kind of a surprising thing you got out of them that you didn't expect. So they just went into it and just said they got it for the arch support. They've been wearing boots for the past decade and, always got by with ones that weren't quite right. And so they went with Nicks for arch support and more comfort because they started getting plantar fasciitis, and it almost immediately disappeared as soon as he started wearing these boots. But the one thing he didn't expect is just how awesome the boots made him feel wearing the boots. If this is another Wicked and Craig leather.
Yeah, oiled Latigo.
Yeah, beautiful
Tan.
boots. He said they've molded exactly to the shape of his feet and cradle his arches like a baby in a hang gliding harness.
Yeah, no, I mean, great visualization there. Walking on a baby. That sounds
Luminous.
It sounds comfy,
Yeah.
right?
He says luminous on overcast days like a horse made of fire.
A fire cow, really.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
But he says whatever is coming his way, wearing these boots makes them confident that they won't just get through it. They'll stomp it. They're not just their boots, they're their armor.
Yep. And I feel that way too.
Yeah.
So I was at thank you for this story, Mr. 20. I appreciate that. No, I was at a party. It was a little more formal. And so I wore some Aldens I have, basically like Alden Indies and some shell. I was like, I didn't love it. I didn't love being in them. They were a little flat. So like I've had them for a little bit. So that pour-on or whatever they use, the foam for the insoles starting to deteriorate and lose its padding. And, by the end of the day, I was just a little sore. And I put on my trusty, 55 last Howards. And I felt much better.
Yeah.
It was interesting. You do get used to this kind of level of comfort. And I just thought it was interesting, like, so the Aldens come out of the box with that pour-on. I think it's pour-on, but, the foam on it.
Yeah.
And they feel good, like, when you first put them on. But over time, man, they're just, like, okay, right? Because that foam doesn't hold up. And then I contrast them with our boots, which are obviously just straight leather. And because they'd molded, it felt good. So I don't know. I guess you could say I'm kind of a believer in our products.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how they kind of support you and make life a little bit easier. So, we never say this is like a medical device or anything like that, but it does seem like people do, experience a reduction in foot pain. And, if they're having some plantar fasciitis, this could be a solution, non-medical solution to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a certain reliability to it. I forget how much I thought about my foot pain and discomfort before I started wearing our boots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even a thought that crosses my mind anymore. And there's a certain thing, like going into any situation and just being like, I'm not going to have to worry about standing for X amount of hours. I'm not going to have to worry about, oh God, I want to take these things off. They can look good. If I'm going to a casual event, I know, if for whatever reason we end up running around town or something, I have boots I can rely on.
Yep. Yeah, so thank you, Mr. 20. Thank you. Congratulations on your victory. So we've got the next winner.
Yep.
Another cool name, Bama Boy, Indiana, Texas. No, it's probably Bama Boy in Texas. So this was a man who was raised in Alabama, ended up, because of his career, having to work in Texas, which is pretty straightforward, right? I like that.
Yeah,
I don't even think I'm making that up.
No, I want everyone who is won to please comment either on this video or on our announcement post and let us know how accurate Shyler has been with these descriptions. I feel like you're spot on with most of these.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk about these.
Yeah. So the title is What I've Learned from Wearing the Same Pair of Boots for the Past 5 months. So this person bought the boots for the Stitch Down Patina Thunderdome, which is a different boot contest that we are affiliated with, one of the major sponsors for, with Stitch Down. So he's been wearing them for months. mostly just to, he said he used to be a sneakerhead and is just kind of into that idea of the patina. But over the last 5 months has just learned that, life's a little bit sweeter when you commit to owning fewer but better things.
Yep.
And, he says towards the end, life is short, buy the boots, wear the things you love, and always remember what's important. It's not things you own. It's not collecting a bunch of things. It's family. It's being present in the small moments and truly being thankful for the gifts that life has given us. Just such a sweet message.
And like community, community matters.
Absolutely.
So be a part of something bigger than yourself, whether that's, your local community. Maybe there's a bowling team you're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a Dungeons and Dragons group that you do really well
Absolutely.
with. Or maybe it's some like-minded people on the internet who like to look at boots and support each other. So yeah, this was a great lesson. And Mr. Texas, we really appreciate your perspective. These are beautiful boots, double stuffed navy. Don't see a lot of that. And nice brakeman's. Those look awesome. All right, number 4, we've got Mr. Lineman, Doc Lineman, the famous Doc Lineman. Not actually a doctor. I happen to know that, but he is a lineman, so it's a little confusing. But yeah, Mr. Lineman has been a part of the community for a few years now, always sharing some wonderful pics alongside Shiny Hunter, where they are kind of on the cutting edge of fashion and work, right? Because they wear these crazy leathers to go like rescue people and recover down power lines after hurricanes. I get a kick out of it because he'll wear like natural Dublin,
right.
with his lineman boots. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, they will work. But yeah, this is a beautiful boot. Lucas, why don't you tell us about it? This is his first boot from us.
Sorry, I moved on to the next one.
Okay. So Doc was inspired by Shiny Hunter because they've worked together and they're friends. But this was basically just, it's an H&W Builder Pro, right? But I thought it was funny because he did tan waxed flesh on it. So I guess it's like it's a 10-inch urban lugger, sort of.
Something like that.
Yeah. Honey lugs, which I'm a big fan of. I've been converted. We do need to do something with the heel. The heel can wear a little quickly, especially if you're like me or you're a heel striker. Starting to get that uneven gait. But yeah, these are buttes, tan wax flesh. Tan is always funny to me because it's what Horween called tan, which, Horween is old enough that they called tan what it was called in like the 1820s or something. It's not true, but I'm exaggerating. But the late 1800s, before like khaki was a thing, really, right? And so tan was like English tan, which was kind of reddish. And so that, with their Horweens intransigence and resistance to change, is why we still see tans that are not really tan by our kind of current definition of color theory. But yeah, so these are tan waxed flesh. They're beautiful. These have been on the road, restoring power, mucking through hurricanes. I think a great illustration of kind of that mashup of the style, right? You can get the wax flesh, the Horweens, but we make them tough enough that they can kind of stand up to anything your job might be throwing at you. Okay, so thank you to Mr. Lineman. And this is Jono. Jono in the cellar. Why is Jono in the cellar? That's what I've always wondered about.
Didn't he work at a winery?
See, there you go. So now I know.
Yeah, wine cellar.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was more sinister.
Oh.
No,
kind
of like a Buffalo Bill Silence of the Lambs.
I hope not.
No.
Considering, we've met Jono in person and
you never know though.
But
you never know.
That's true.
You never know.
I don't want to besmirch Jono like that. I'm pretty sure he worked at a winery and a wine cellar. But yeah, so Jono, I'm going to kind of just read most of this because I think it's a really nice story. Title is, I bought a pair of urban loggers to hike in and stepped into a marriage. So April 2023, he did a lot of research, took the plunge on Nicks boots. He got urban loggers, another tan wax flesh, another honey lug sole. But he got them for a months-long road trip where he hiked through a number of national parks with his then girlfriend, Katie. During the summer of that year, he and Katie began to feel more at home with each other in the mountains. The urban loggers were glued to his feet the whole time, through thick and thin. up and down slick granite, snow-covered passes in Montana, and barren sandstone in the heat of Utah's August. Fall of 2023, he and Katie take the plunge and move to the mountains in Vermont. And he is wearing his Nicks boots daily. And his boot collection continues to grow. I know we got him some Pacific Wax Flesh Rangers that he wears all the time and a number of other boots. I think he has some Chelsea's as well. And then fast forward to 2024, they do it again. They went on a road trip, except this time
They're engaged.
they're engaged.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're getting married, I believe, this summer. And we're actively building him a pair of brandles.
Are we invited?
He has not sent us an invite.
Well, I mean,
You know what?
Honestly,
okay, so we're going to kick Jono out of...
like the stuff we're doing for Jono, I would expect an invite.
Okay, so Jono is no longer...
If nothing else, just to send a gift.
a winner.
You know what I mean?
We're going to knock him down. And we're gonna
But then I might actually show up. Which I think would be really funny.
It's a great point.
I've never really been to the Northeast, like the Northeast, like Vermont. I don't know. It could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to a wedding in Maine,
Oh, right
so
on.
I might even be there.
Wow. You just show up.
Come on, Jono.
Yeah, what the heck?
What the heck? Yeah, so Nicks brings people together, right? And we hope this lasts with Jono and Katie.
Yes.
And you're not supposed to say congratulations till the deed is done. You say best wishes, okay? You don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
But yeah, best wishes to Jono and Katie. We're glad these boots could be a part of your journey together, and hopefully we'll be part of it for many years to come.
Yeah.
Jono, have always been a great friend of the brand, and we really appreciate all that you're doing and for sharing these boots. These are beautiful boots. What leather is this? Is this just 64 brown?
This is tan wax flesh.
Tan wax again?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Another
Yeah,
tan wax
another
flesh?
tan wax flesh. The sleeper, and then all of a sudden it's...
Man, you guys. Well, you sure didn't buy very many when they first came out, but glad they trickled out there. Yeah, so congrats to Jono, and thank you for sharing that. I believe we have one more.
There's one more kind of honorable mention in there. This is what I meant. This is one of those, I think this is an auto-generated username, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, Mediocre Cookie, 9560. Not a lot of insights from that.
Unless, maybe it's not auto-generated.
It looks auto-generated.
Maybe he's a baker.
Not a very good one.
And not a very good one.
It's possible. It's possible. What do they say, Katie or Kelsey? Hot cookie, is that a thing?
Hot cookie.
No, I don't know. Okay.
In reference to what?
I don't know, like a slang term, like an oldie, like olden times.
Yeah, aren't you a baker?
People say smart cookie.
Smart cookie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It doesn't
maybe,
have anything to do with baking, but
Yeah, but so maybe this is not a smart person. I don't know. It's just
it's just a mediocre cookie.
It's a
not
mediocre
smart
cookie.
They're a mediocre cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they were smart enough to pick some great boots. And so this is the 1964 Monarch. If you recall, we released this to basically provide a work weight leather and, inspired by Predator Orange. And I think these kind of meet that desire. We've gotten, a couple loads of it in. It does pretty well. It looks great. And so I think this is a wonderful illustration of that. I think so. The Monarch was named after our state butterfly, which is the Monarch butterfly.
Yeah.
A lot of them are born here and then I believe go down to Mexico. So they're kind of going on these massive migrations across the Western United States, which I think is pretty interesting. Kind of a local flavor here. So this is a great Builder Pro, classic example of our boots. Cool to see the kind of inspiration on the Monarch side. And yeah, this person brings that up, the long distance migration. So cool to see people kind of have similar interests and have some knowledge about the local butterfly landscape here in Washington State. No, it's cool. Like neither one of you are golfers, but like if you're playing golf courses, they'll have often areas that are essentially Monarch kind of breeding grounds. They're off limits, and it's kind of a thing here. So we're glad we were able to kind of take part in that. And thank you to Mr. Cookie for being a part of this.
Yeah, I do like, I feel like I got to mention, he talks about embracing patina and change. And he talks about how the Monarchs are known for their migration and they are a symbol of change and transformation. And he says, can't help but think about that when he looks at his boots and his own life. And like his boots, he too should get better with age. Never stop growing and learning.
Gosh, if only that were true.
Reminds him to embrace his scars both inside and out, the patina of life.
Yeah. So next year, it's going to be just people. No boots.
We're just going to have people post about themselves?
Yeah, your patina story.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that a bridge too far? Oh, man. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I do think the nice thing about this competition, and this is the second year we've done it, and I think we did a better job this year of kind of pulling in the stories of people.
Yeah.
I think it is always interesting to kind of be inspired and see what other people are up to. And so maybe there's something to that, right? Like this isn't just about the patina of your boots. It's kind of can we make patina more of what it is,
Sure.
In some of the other competitions that are out there. I think that's what we're trying to do here. So,
yeah. I just really like, I see a lot of these usernames on a lot of posts commenting or posting themselves. And it's nice to kind of get a little bit more insight into their life.
Sure.
Like now I know Mediocre Cookie a little bit better. And, just kind of the things he does and how he lives. I know him more than just his 64 Monarch boots now. And it's nice to be able to interact with, the regulars in our subreddit a little bit more that way.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, building community. You have to these days. I remember my reticence to be kind of involved on the front end on some of this content that we've been creating, several years ago. And I'm glad I did it. It's been a good way to connect with people and, demonstrate our values and show what we're transparent about. And so I think to get these accumulated stories here is a great illustration of that. Everyone deserves great footwear, and we are just really proud to be chosen by so many incredible people. So yeah, that was the contender this year. So we'll be reaching out shortly with prizes and everything like that. We really want to thank our sponsors: Decked, Buck, Brave Star, Guilty Party, Brett Viberg, if I can ever get hold of him.
Paladin 33.
And yeah, so some really great stories, some really great sponsors, and some really great prizes. So yeah, we'll be reaching out with that here shortly. Thank you to everyone who participated and watched. And, even if you never bought a boot from us before, hopefully, you got to see a little insight into what we're about and what our customers are like. We hope you'll decide to join them if you haven't already. So thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to the team here at Nicks. You guys did a great job with this. And, looking forward to getting feedback from you guys on what we should do next.
Yeah.
We'll do it again next year. And obviously always trying to make it better. So let us know what we can do, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye.